2 weeks remain in the regular season. Welcome into CA Hoops Weekly, presented by Geico. I'm Bobby Broyles, along with Bill Potter. Another exciting week of league play, Bill, as teams continue to battle for positioning in the upcoming conference tournament, which is now just in a couple of weeks.
It's hard to believe we're almost at the end of the regular season, Bobby, and after a 2-0 homestand, Hofstra has solidified its grasp atop the CAA. The Pride have won 6 straight games, and with 4 games left in the regular season, Hofstra now holds a 1.5-game lead. With its Saturday night win at James Madison, Towson has now jumped into a tie for third in the conference. The Tigers have won 3 straight games, entering a massive Thursday night contest against William & Mary. And speaking of William & Mary, last weekend was huge for the Tribe as it went 2-0 at home to move back into second place. And Nathan Knight was a tour de force, averaging 30.5 points, 9.5 rebounds, and 5 blocks, and earning CA Player of the Week honors for the 4th time this season. And up in Boston, Northeastern could not have picked a better time to post its first 2-0 homestand in CA play. Now 7-7 in the CA, the Huskies are 6th in the conference and in position to earn that important first-round bye.
Well, Bill, we spoke with members of the Hofstra Pride to talk about their recent 6-game winning streak. Joining us on the line now from Hofstra, we have head coach Joe Mihalik and also senior guard DeJour Bowie. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
We're doing great.
Great.
Whenever I'm with this guy, I'm great. You know, it's when I'm not with this guy that I get a little nervous. But if I'm with DeJour Bowie, I'm not nervous. I'm okay.
That sounds great. Hey, Coach, obviously the hottest team in the CAA right now, a 6-game winning streak. What were some of the keys to success over the last few weeks?
Well, first of all, you didn't watch our practice today because you wouldn't be talking about any winning streaks. You'd be talking about the end of the winning streak because our practice was pretty horrible today. But I don't know. What do you think were some of the keys? I would speak to I feel like on defense we're really
I think that's what it is.
We're in sync.
And DeJour, this being your senior year, how much fun are you having right now? I know you've been part of a long winning streak, especially last year, but especially this one currently, and you being a senior, how much are you enjoying this moment right now?
I'm enjoying every moment. I've been enjoying every moment since the summer. I know it's my last go-around. I'm trying to make everything count, so I'm just enjoying and embracing every moment.
You can check out that entire interview on casports.com and the league's social media outlets. Time to dive into a few matchups, and let's begin with 2 teams who are still in the hunt for the regular season title as Towson plays host to William & Mary on flowhoops.com on Thursday night at 7 o'clock.
This one's massive, Bobby, as Towson sits 1.5 game behind William & Mary in the conference standings. A win for the Tigers would give them a sweep of the Tribe this season, while William & Mary can put distance between itself and Towson with a key road victory. Now, a month ago, Towson picked up a 12-point win at Kaplan Arena, and freshman Jason Gibson erupted in that game, scoring a career-high 21 points, so you know he's going to be addressed on the William & Mary scouting report. 2 other names that are going to feature prominently on that report are Brian Fobbs and Alan Beatrand. Fobbs has a chance to reach 1,000 career points on Thursday night and is averaging just under 16 points per game in conference play. Beatrand is just ahead of his teammate, putting up over 17 points each night. Now, the Tigers will try and use its front line of Nakai Sanders and Dennis Tunstall to thwart Nathan Knight. The duo helped limit Knight to 6 of 15 shooting in that first meeting, but in CA play, Knight is now averaging over 22 points and nearly 12 boards, with the center earning a place on basically every major postseason awards list.
Impressive indeed. Also on Thursday night at 7 over on flowhoops.com, it'll be Northeastern on the road to take on Delaware. Another great matchup as well, Bill, with great guards on both teams in this one.
You're right about that, Bobby. This one's going to feature 2 guards who can light up the scoreboard in Northeastern's Jordan Rowland and Delaware's Nate Darling. Rowland has had 6 games this season with 30 or more points. He's fouled in that category by
Nate Darling,
who has 4. Rowland continues to lead the CAA in scoring, averaging over 23 points per game and hitting over 40% of his 3-point attempts. Meanwhile, Darling is tied for second in the CAA with nearly 22 points per game and leads the conference with 89 3-pointers on the year. And not to be overlooked, Bobby, this should be a great matchup of point guards too. Kevin Anderson is in his 3rd year running point for the Blue Hens and has handed out over 100 assists on the season while averaging nearly 12 points. On the other side of the ball is one of the CAA's most impressive freshmen, Tyson Walker. All Walker's done to this point in the year is to average almost 11 points per game while handing out 3.5 assists.
Moving on to Saturday at 2 o'clock on FlowHoops.com, we'll stay with the Huskies as they make the trip to Philly to take on Drexel. A huge game here, Bill, for potential seeding as these two teams look to stay out of the first round of the upcoming conference tournament.
You know, it's winning 3 games in 3 days in the CAA championship is tough enough, Bobby.
Yes.
And adding one more game into the mix adds a degree of difficulty no coach in the conference looks forward to.
Yep.
Northeastern comes into the weekend with a 1-game edge on Drexel for that last first-round bye, and with a win over the Dragons earlier in the year, Northeastern can pick up a huge edge with just 1 weekend remaining in the regular season. If Tyson Walker needs a roadmap to follow from his freshman to sophomore year, he'll be able to look at his Drexel counterpart, Cam Winter. Just consider these numbers, Bobby. In Winter's freshman season, he averaged 11.3 points and 5.4 assists, earning CAA Rookie of the Year honors. In his freshman season, Tyson Walker is averaging 10.7 points and 3.5 assists, not far from where Winter was a year ago. Now, in his sophomore year, Winter has taken his game to another level, averaging 16 points and over 5 assists while hitting 39% of his three-pointers. Down low, Northeastern will have to contend with Drexel's James Butler, who is second in the CAA with 17 double-doubles. Butler is one of 3 players in the conference averaging a double-double on the year, leading the conference with nearly 12 rebounds per game while adding 13 points. Now, Drexel is going to have to find a way to slow down Jordan Rowland, and not many teams have been able to do that this season.
Nope.
Rowland comes into the weekend as one of the country's elite offensive players, averaging over 23 points per game, which is 5th in the country. And when you want to measure offensive rating, Rowland ranks just behind Dayton's Obi Toppin among players used on at least 24% of their team's possessions.
And we wrap up with a Saturday contest at 4 on FlowHoops.com as Delaware will play host to Hofstra. These two already put on a great game just a few weeks ago, Bill.
You know, that one was a classic in Hempstead as Kevin Anderson went coast to coast for the game-winning layup with half a second to go. And the win was part of Delaware's 6-game winning streak, which has vaulted the Blue Hens within a game and a half of Hofstra entering the weekend. And if Delaware has designs on the CAA regular season title, it's going to need this game.
Yep.
This one's going to feature 2 teams who have the most balanced scoring in the CAA, with both Hofstra and Delaware having 5 players who average double figures. 2 of those 5 for Delaware are Justin Mutz and Dylan Painter, who dominated in the team's first meeting. Mutz had a career-high 30 points to go along with 13 rebounds in Hempstead, while Painter had 15 points and 12 boards. That duo was a combined 18 for 26 from the floor in that game, and while Hofstra kept Nate Darling in check, Mutz and Painter proved tough to handle in the paint. Meanwhile, Delaware is going to have to contend with Hofstra's 4-guard lineup. DeJour Bowie led the Pride with 19 points in the team's first meeting, and in CAA play, Bowie is averaging 19.5 points and nearly 5.5 assists as he's put together a Player of the Year caliber resume. And as he did in the first game, Hofstra is going to look to Isaac Conte to handle the burden in the post. Conte is putting up almost 13 points to go along with 8.5 boards, giving the Pride a post presence they wanted. In that first game, Conte had 16 points and 9 rebounds.
Now here's a look at the rest of the upcoming action around CAA men's basketball. The Colonial takes over the Capitol. Join us March 7th through the 10th at the Entertainment and Sports Arena for all of the action and excitement in Washington, D.C. as 10 CAA teams battle for a berth in the NCAA tournament. It's the 2020 Hercules Tire CAA Men's Basketball Championship. CASports.com will have all the information you need this week regarding links to live stats, video, and audio coverage.
You know, and as always, you can continue to follow the league on Facebook and Instagram by searching CA Sports. We are also on Twitter at CA Basketball using the hashtag CA Hoops.
The CA on-campus crew concluded this year's campaign in Harrisonburg this past weekend. You can revisit some of the sights and sounds of their most recent trip on our social media outlets, and stay tuned this Thursday for the season finale series on the JMU Dukes.
You know, we had the pleasure to sit down with junior guard Matt Lewis to talk about why he chose to play basketball at JMU, what motivates him to continue to play.
That is it from us today. Enjoy the games, everyone.